Welcome inside the Gridiron Now studios. I'm Amanda Borges here with Tony Smith, ready to talk some college football fantasy. Tony, let's start with Texas A&M. What on earth is going on with their offense?
Look, 3 pick sixes a couple weeks ago against Alabama really cost them any opportunity to be in that ball game. They had a tough one again this weekend where they actually had to pull their starting quarterback against Ole Miss, and really the difference has been they can't run the ball. Against those two defenses, Texas A&M just couldn't find any traction in the run game. Trey Carson, a guy who's been somebody that gets 25 to 30 carries a week right now in the SEC, it doesn't matter how many he's been getting. 32 yards on 25 attempts against Alabama, 58 yards on 27 attempts against Ole Miss. No touchdowns in those games. They had 8 rushing touchdowns in their first 5 games. They do have an opportunity this weekend, though, to get that running game going again and hopefully that offense going again when they play South Carolina, who's giving up around 200 yards a week on the ground and has given up 13 touchdowns rushing already this season as well.
Well, Tony, it's a big week here. Florida, Georgia this weekend. What should we watch for in that game?
Georgia wants to run the ball, and really the only time that we've seen without Nick Chubb was a couple weeks ago before the bye. They lost that game to Tennessee. Now it's going to be the Sony Michel show, and just how effective is that going to be for this Georgia team? Florida, a team that has been really good against the run this year. Leonard Fournette got his 180 yards, but as I said last week, it never felt like Fournette was controlling that game against Florida. Can they do the same thing against a Georgia team that is clearly going to want to run the ball first, whatever their weapons happen to be? And for the Gators, now you've had 2 weeks to get Treon Harris and this offense ready, and I'm really curious to see what it looks like with Jim McElwain having an opportunity with his offense to get this guy ready for 2 weeks specifically for Georgia, because essentially this is an SEC East championship game coming up on Saturday. I like the Gators side of things here just because of the matchup that Florida has against that Georgia running game.
Tony, lay it all out for us. Give us a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver to start and ones to sit.
Let's start with the quarterback position. Chad Kelly, who I think is probably the strongest quarterback play in the conference this weekend for Ole Miss, going up against Auburn. Bo Wallace was really good for this Ole Miss offense against Auburn last year, and you'll remember, we'll talk about Laquan Treadwell here in a moment, this is the game where he broke his leg going in for a game-winning touchdown, what would have been against Auburn. The guy I'm sitting this week is Kyle Allen, and simply it's because he got benched last week. I don't know how much rope he's going to have this week in this game. Not even sure he's going to be the guy this week in this game for Texas A&M. It's a good matchup, but after seeing him be pulled off the field last week after the back-to-back performances he's had, I'm really nervous about having him in any lineups. At running back, Trey Carson at A&M for all the reasons I laid out. South Carolina has been really bad against the run to this point this year. He's going to get a ton of carries in that Texas A&M offense, probably to try to just get them back on track. The guy I'm sitting down is Ralph Webb at Vandy. They just haven't created enough opportunities to score. They're playing a Houston team this week on the road that has been really, really good against the run to this point this season. And at wide receiver, Laquan Treadwell I think he's the best wide receiver in the conference right now. And he's had back-to-back-to-back really good weeks, 27 receptions, 382 yards, 3 touchdowns in his last 3 games. So he is on fire. And again, this could be a bit of a revenge game for him after breaking his leg in this contest against Auburn last year. And the guy I'm sitting down is Malcolm Mitchell. They're at Georgia. And it's Vernon Hargreaves, VH1, with the matchup against him potentially, plus just the inconsistent quarterback play that the Georgia Bulldogs have gotten. So at least for this week, I'm not playing Malcolm Mitchell.
All right, great advice, Tony. Thank you. For more on the SEC, check out gridironnow.com. We'll see you next time.